Hey everyone, Aaron Stewart, Data Access Golf, another live show today. Some pretty cool stuff kind of going on. There was a lot of discussion today out online about Matt Wolff's golf swing, good, bad, whatever. Talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I wanted to kind of get on and have a look at it from a little different light. A lot of you know that I really enjoy technology, and I think that technology in golf has changed everything for us. And so that's what I want to jump into. Let's use some technology and take a look at some different swings. And maybe this will kind of give us an idea of what we should, as amateurs, be looking for in our perfect golf swing. So let's jump into it. Cool. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for being here today. So Matt Wolff has kind of turned on its head, right? I mean, Oklahoma State, one out there, had an amazing NCAA career. Played on the PGA Tour earlier this year at the Waste Management Open, and missed the cut there. And then subsequently turned pro last month in June. He played in. Let's see, the Travelers. I know he played in the Travelers, and I think he played last week, 2 weeks ago as well, and didn't make the cut there. This week is literally the first time he made the cut, or I guess last weekend, was the first time he made the cut, and he won the whole dang thing, right? And we know how it ended. It was an amazing way to end a golf tournament, no question, to have Bryson DeChambeau make that putt for eagle and take a one-stroke lead, and then having Motoyama and Wolff come in on 18, both with them putts essentially to win, right? And Motoyama's was obviously a lot closer and seemed like he handed the advantage. And then we know what Matthew Wolff did, drained a 26-footer from off the green for eagle to get one stroke ahead of DeChambeau. And they showed a picture of DeChambeau's face when he found out that he'd been got by one Matt Wolff. And then you've got, any of us who follow this great game and know about Bryson DeChambeau, we know that he is like the technology master, right? I mean, he has everything dialed in. He talks about barometric pressures, and he'll put moisture on the ball to see how it's going to spin differently. He does all kinds of crazy scientific things to make sure that he knows every aspect of his swing. And then you see a guy like Matthew Wolff, where he obviously understands what's going on in his swing, but probably not to the extent that Bryson DeChambeau does, because his swing is so unorthodox. I don't know how you take numbers from Matthew Wolff's swing and make any sense of it at all. And we'll kind of get into that and see some data on that in a little bit. So I just thought it was very funny that you have essentially two very extremes here. And I really wanted them to be in the same group, because I think both of them would probably look the other way when the other one was swinging, right? You've got one that's so robotic in Bryson DeChambeau and looks so stiff and so robotic. And then you've got a Matthew Wolff that's totally a homegrown, let it fly, we call it when here in Utah, when we're skiing, and we fall down and everything goes crazy, and the skis and the poles and everything just goes, we call it a yard sale. And I would say Matthew Wolff's golf swing, if you're going to term any golf swing in golf a yard sale, it's Matthew Wolff's, right? It's just everywhere, just does everything. Anyway, so it was very interesting to have those two going head to head, because they're so different in their approach to the game of golf. And then you've got this Motoyama out of California, that his golf swing is gorgeous. And on plane, not much wrong with that golf swing. And so it was fun to watch three very different individuals sort of battle it out coming down. You've got the real traditional in Motoyama. You've got Matthew Wolff, the free spirit, crazy out there, and then you've got Bryson DeChambeau is probably out there the other direction, so buried in science, technology, and numbers and physics that, whoo, three very, very different people. I don't know. I don't know if they could go out and have any sort of conversation, right? Go grab a drink together. I don't know what would happen. But anyway, so what I've done today, you can kind of see here on the side, my little iPad here. So I love the swing bite. Everybody knows that I love the swing bite. I love this this little device right here. You just put it on your club, and it's awesome. It tells you a lot of information about how you're swinging the golf club. Kind of funny. Earlier today, I was on in preparation for the show. I was on and trying to figure out, how many swings I'd done or whatever, and I figured it was somewhere around 20,000. I still think that's probably about right, but I wanted to see what SwingBite had online for me. And so I actually logged into my account, and I took a screenshot, and let me see if I can bring that up really quick here. That's not it right there. See if I can find it real quick. It made me laugh. It was pretty funny to see how long I've been wrestling with this thing, but I swear I was in here though. No. Maybe not. Maybe I don't have it. So I thought I did. Anyway, so maybe I'll find it. Maybe I won't. No, I guess maybe not. Darn it. That's a little upsetting. I'll have to go get it again. Anyway, if you were looking at when I was looking at my account, I was able to log in at SwingBite and take a look at it. My first swing with a SwingBite was back in 2012, and it said I had almost 17,000 swings on there, 16,000 something, I guess 16,700. And I always say there's some swings that you don't pick up and don't catch. I've had quite a few swings on this device, and I've learned a lot about it. And it's a lot of fun to get to know your swing with a piece of technology giving you feedback all the time. And I've talked about that a lot, how there's no like learn to ride a bicycle coaches out there. We don't need it. When we hop on a bike and we go and we're trying to learn to balance and ride a bike, we have instant feedback. We can feel if it's going to tip over. And so we instantly, I grabbed that, I had that video of my daughter that I played a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, and how she kind of caught the moment when she learned to play golf, and she's little. When she learned to ride a bike, and boom, once she had it, and she's riding along and having a great time. Obviously, golf is not like that. We don't get the feedback instantaneously like that, and we don't always know exactly what's going on. And it happens so quickly and it's over so quickly that it's very hard for us to take in all that information and make any sense out of it at all. So what I wanted to do was kind of look at this concept of being amateur golfers and making sure that we are making the simplest swing possible so it can be repeatable with our limited practice time. That is all this talking that I've been doing. We're 141 podcasts into this thing. We're doing, I don't know how many lives we've done now. It's been all coming to that, right? You start talking about golf and you start wondering about golf and technology and all that stuff. It's kind of come to the point where I'm on a mission to help amateurs love this game and use technology in the best way possible to make sure that when they go out and play, they know what's going on and they're playing their very best game. So we came up with the benchmarks to kind of help us, utilize our time wisely. And so we're only practicing on those things where we really need help and we're not guessing. And so we're working exactly where we need to work so for our gains to get better. And anyway, so I thought it would be fun today to kind of look at essentially three main different kinds of swings and see what they look like because we're talking about simplification. And then I also tried to imitate Matthew Wolf's swing, and I got it captured on the SwingBite. And it turned out to be pretty funny and insightful, I believe. So I'm going to bring the iPad in here, and I'm going to switch my screen to the iPad. And let's see what happens here. See which the screen is right there. Let's see. Let's bring up the iPad. Cool. Okay. So this is the app on my iPad for SwingBite. And it's that little device that I showed you. It's cool. It gives you, so this is a swing. It gives you some really good views of your golf swing. So face on and down the line, and then you can do this 3D view where you can kind of move it all around and look which way you want, right? And is that making everybody sick? But it kind of gives you kind of a cool, in space, in 3D space, how to look, how to look at it. So, oops, don't allow. Okay, cancel. All right, so I wanted to start with, that's not what you want. I wanted to start with down the line. So tell me what is this swing, right? As you see this swing, what kind of swing is this? Okay, what do you got? You got way inside, up, over the top and down, right? So this is just sort of the traditional golfer, the over-the-top swing. This is the one that we see a lot with amateurs. They take it inside, come over the top. This is kind of, somehow or another, my daughter has gotten to the point where she's taken her club way inside like this, and so we're working on it. So this is the sort of, over-the-top move. You can see here that it's 73%. 73 miles per hour. So pretty slow. This is with a 6-iron. And you can see that I like to have this, let's see, face, plane. It didn't really work good. So you've got initial lie angle was at 50 degrees, and at impact, the plane angle is 60 degrees. So there was a 10-degree change in the angle of my club as I swing this sort of over the top move. Okay, so this is one swing that we see very common in the world of golf. And then as we get better, and then let's take a look at the over the top view. This is where it gets kind of fun. Okay, so this is the view that I use all the time to figure out what's going on in my golf swing. And so you can see here the inside, and let me kind of explain. You're looking essentially overhead is the view. So we're looking straight down at the target line. You can see where the ball's going to take off right there, those little white dots. And then the club is kind of towards us, like we'd be standing there holding the club. And then these red lines that you'll see essentially are if you had a laser sticking out of both ends of the shaft. Okay, that's how you would see it. So you can see that I've taken this club inside. The red line is going inside. And so the shaft is pointing inside. Now you see a red little line come in from the butt end of the club. And it comes in way from the top and comes down because I've gone so far inside. You can see how the butt of the club, the grip is pointed at that line there. And then once I get to the top of my backswing, I've now rerouted the club. I've started to bring it back down. It's coming from the inside now because I went inside. And now I've pulled it back around. It started going the other direction. And here comes the club head with the shaft from the outside, hitting the ball, and I'm going to hit a great big slice. Okay, so can we kind of see that? But how simple does that golf swing look? It's a disaster, right? This is the over the top. I mean, look at that. It doesn't look simple. Look where the target line is, right? The black line down the middle, and the over inside, up, over the top, boom. I mean, it's a total disaster, right? I mean, the red lines are everywhere. And technically, we want our golf swing to be as simple as possible. Okay, so let's look at the next example. This next example is a golfer, you would probably say a mid-handicap, so a 15 to maybe a 5 handicap would swing a little bit more like this. Okay, and so we'll get to that swing, which is, let me see if I've got it here. Okay, so we'll look down the line first so we can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So this golf swing is one that starts pretty on the target line, a little inside, comes up, and then drops a little inside, so a slight two-plane swing. This is the kind of swing where if you're not real careful, you can get kind of stuck. And so some of the big misses coming from the inside like this, or you see these types of players hit a lot more hooks and draws, right? Which is typically a better player, but definitely not the outside over the top coming in. The thing to look at here too is maximum speed of about 77 miles an hour. Okay, so we've picked up like 4 miles an hour, and we're coming a little bit more from the inside, so we expect a little bit more right to left movement in the ball if the club face is square. But it's sort of a simpler look, at least from here. And if we look from at the top, it's a much simpler look, right? I mean, you've got, well, you can see that it's kind of going back parallel to the target line. Get up the top, we drop it inside a little bit. The hands kind of go a little higher, and then the club comes from the inside. So we're going to hit we're going to hit a draw, or we're going to maybe even hit a hook if we've got the club face a little closed. But anyway, that's essentially a better player's golf swing, and we see this a lot out there. Now for fun, and we picked up a little club head speed. Now for fun, this is my rendition of, is this right? Let's go down the line. My rendition of, yes. So my rendition of Matt Wolf's golf swing. Here we go. So way outside. Oh no, this isn't the right one. That's not the right one either. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Come on. That's no fun, is it? No, it'd have to be right here then. Yeah, I think it's this one. Okay. So Matt Wolf, and again, I couldn't do it as big as he does it. I tried to go as far outside as I possibly could, and I couldn't get it done. But anyway, so you go outside and bring it up, and then he drops it way in. So you can see a super, at least if you're just following the club head, which is all that this line traces, you've got a super inside move, right? A huge two-plane swing, right? You've got the back going up here outside and then dropping it way in. A huge his two-plane swing has got to be the biggest maybe ever, because he takes the club head so far inside, right? So then down through the ball, if we look at this overhead, then you can kind of get a good idea of it. Yeah, this looks a lot better. So you can see taking it outside. He takes it further outside than that, but that's as far as I could go without falling on my head. And way outside, so then you can kind of see the butt end of the club here, and you can see how steep the club is getting, and his club gets very steep. And then it's got to find the plane line. So it's got to find the target line. So you see it kind of coming back and searching. He literally doesn't find, and this is about accurate if you see his swing on YouTube, he doesn't find the target line till about right there in his golf swing. And then he comes in and then right down the target line, right? See how that red line comes right down the target line? So this was a pretty good representation of Matt Wolf. He's a good player and he finds playing, but he just doesn't do it very early. My daughter finds playing right here. I mean, she is dead on playing right here, and all she has to do is turn, even though she's got an inside move and has an over-the-top swing because she has to lift it up to plane. She finds it clear back here, which is beyond me. We see a lot of good players find it somewhere, somewhere in here where they're pointing down at the target, at the ball, and then they just have to turn and go through it, okay? So this one here, if you're looking at this golf swing from the top view, it's got some issues with it. It's not very simple. You're going way outside and then you're coming down the target line. We've got this golf swing, which is a better player golf swing. It's a little simpler. And then we've got this disaster, the over the top, right? I mean, this is a mess. I think it's this one right here, right? This is a disaster right here. There it is. That's an over the top, right? Inside, over the top, boom. Somehow make contact with the ball. Not very simple. Excuse me. Not very simple, not very simple. And 73 miles an hour. Now we've got the better player at 77 miles an hour. Here's the interesting thing though. Matt Wolf's swing, when I swing Matt Wolf's swing, my maximum speed was 81 miles an hour. So I picked up some club head speed. And why is that? Well, this huge two-plane swing, you're picking up a lot of help from gravity right there, right? As it's dropping here, you're picking up a lot of help from gravity. We see that in Sergio Garcia's swing. Another very huge two-plane swing. They pick up a lot of club head speed. But with that club head speed and the two planes, we also pick up some complexity. And we can see that in the overhead view, right? It's a little crazier there. That's not even his swing. There it is. Boom. So you can see there's a little more complexity in his swing there as well. Okay, so not as simple. Okay, now the swing that we've been talking about. You want to choose the simplest swing you possibly can. We talk about having a one-plane swing. And so we can see here 80 miles an hour, right, in this swing. So we'll go to this swing here. Um, where's my last one? Okay. So here's a, we'll go down the line. So down the line, this is what I consider to be the simplest of swings. It's a one plane swing, and you can kind of see it just kind of goes up and it kind of comes right down. Very similar, not a lot going on there. If we take it to 3D, I think we can even kind of get, oh, excuse me. You can kind of see that it's really kind of on top of itself. There's not, it's just a slight, right? It's just a, excuse me, it's just a slight, drop. Not a whole lot. More or less a one plane swing. Really simple. But as you look at over the top, this is where it gets to be interesting. Look how simple that is. There's just not a lot that can go wrong when your swing is that simple. And that's the beauty of the swing bite, and that's the beauty of finding a swing that's simple. It's very easy for me then to take this device and find my swing, because I've got something to compare it to. I've got that target line, and those 4 red lines are mine. I'm taking the club head back on the target line. I've got the butt end of the club on the target line. I have a little steepening there that I could work on, right, in the grip, and we can see that. This is the cool thing. We can then see that here. If I go back, watch the grip, it kind of comes back into me a little bit right there, and that's one of my signature moves. So I work on that a lot, but a little steepening but then right back down the target line. So you've got 4 lines that are very, very close to that back line. What does that do for you? Well, it means that you can do a whole lot of stuff with your golf swing. If I take those 4 lines there and I just swing outside and keep them parallel, what am I hitting? Nice little fade. I'm cutting it. If I take those 4 lines and just bring it inside a little bit, so I'm swinging inside to out, what am I hitting? A nice little draw. But I'm keeping those 4 lines really straight. And now I just have to adjust my initial start to my swing and swing on top of my target line, and I can start moving the ball any which way I want, because I have control over those 4 lines. And so hopefully that makes some sense to you. This is such a simple move. A one plane swing, everything pointing at the target line, is so repeatable. The Matthew Wolf swing is not repeatable. Now it's generating 84 miles an hour, and this one's generating, I think, 78 miles an hour. So I'm losing some speed there, but I'm picking up unbelievable consistency. And I will admit to swinging a huge 2-plane swing in scramble events, right? When you're trying to hit a driver, you can pick up more distance that way. And if there's somebody safe, take the 2-plane and try to really rope one out there. That's totally fun. But for consistent golf, the 1-plane is the way to go. And if we start looking at some of these other swings, you can just see all the other swings I tried to do, the over-the-top swing, the inside swing, all of that. You can see that the complexity increases. And now we've got some variability, and we have to start guessing to figure out where our club head is. And as soon as we're trying to figure it out and try things, and I will say this too, for the Matthew Wolf swing, all of these swings, I did not hit a golf ball. I was just hitting a golf club to a window. So I wasn't connected to a target. I wasn't doing anything. I was just swinging freely to kind of show, if you introduce a ball, those swing speeds are going to change, because all the variability requires us to slow down to make sure that we take that, we find the center of the club face. So that's what I wanted to share with today. The swing bite is such a cool tool for helping us figure out how to swing as simply as we possibly can. And it's one tool among probably 2 or 3 that I think we have to use in order to have a super great golf swing, but it's one of the most important to get started with. So hopefully you enjoyed this and it makes some sense to you. It's an amazing tool. This is an amazing way to learn how to play golf. Again, I've been messing with it since 2012. I've learned a lot about it. I think it's the most valuable, especially in off-season golf, especially if you don't have a lot of time to go to the range and you want to work out in the office. It is a brilliant way to do that, right? In your backyard, brilliant. In your garage, brilliant. It is a wonderful tool to get better at golf when you have limited time and limited access to a range, and I guess limited space even in your office. I practice right there in my office, and that's where I've done most of my work on the swing bite. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Again, Matthew Wolf's swing is super athletic, he creates a lot of club head speed, but very inconsistent and a lot of timing, and not one that I would ever recommend to an amateur because we just don't have time to practice like they do. The timing and all of that, that is a very homegrown swing. You can't say that it's not a good swing because he's done a lot of good things with it. It's just not a very natural swing. It's just not a swing that's going to be repeatable long term if you're not practicing a ton. And we know he practices a ton. I mean, hats off to the kid because his work ethic has got to be off the charts to be able to play so well with such an unorthodox move. It's completely unnatural. I mean, just thinking about like hammering, right? Efficient hammer, boom, boom, straight up, straight back. You would never do some sort of and then try to, you don't do it, right? You just, as straight as possible. That's the way to do it and get it done and be super consistent and not hurt your thumb and break a hand or whatever. This is no way to hit a nail, and it's no way to hit a golf ball, to keep it simple that way. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Keep the swing as simple as you possibly can and try to get it pointed at a target line. There's a lot of cool tools to do it. I believe swing bite is the best way. Until next time, Aaron Stewart saying better data always means better golf, and better golf in a much quicker fashion. Thanks.